If you are worship leaders or you are part of worship in here, look at this. There's something that always we have to remember, and this is where we have to grow with what David said. Be open to change. And in our church that I pastor, God taught me something. Sound always precedes manifestation. And that's why God said, let there be light, and then there was. And so what am I saying? You have to allow the instruments to sometimes play. And God said to me one day, he said, let the instruments play. And I said, why? He said, I'm dealing with the president of the nation. This was when President Trump was on. I said, well, what does that have to do with it? Give me a Bible verse. And he said, how about when I had David come in and play a harp for a king? The chords went all the way to the king. And he said, prophesy on the instruments. Tell your team, prophesy. Let those sounds. And what happened? Broke things in the spirit realm that you can't do in your human reasoning. And there are a lot of strongholds that are trying to move over this nation right now. And we have got to let the instruments prophesy. Now, one of the greatest instruments is you, your voice. And I'll say this last thing. The Lord said something to me one time in our church. And he said, Hank, he said, why is it called Songs of Moses and Songs of the Lamb? I said, I have no idea. He said, Songs of Moses are songs that you sing in the earth realm. And they're about things that I do in the earth realm. And he said, there's songs of deliverance. There's songs of how great, God is to the people and how he meets our needs. But he said, but when you get to heaven, he said, you see how many times in the book of Revelation it says, and they sang unto him what? A new song, a new song, a new song. And one of the ways to woo God to a generation is where you sing songs that have been sung before, because that builds a certain unity. But then when you begin to sing, and you know what I'm talking about, songs that you've never sung before, that are new songs from your heart. Because all revival, I was talking to Pastor Horton, who talked to Leonard Ravenhill, one of my heroes. And Leonard Ravenhill said to him, one of the keys to revival is hunger from the human heart. Is that correct? And so when we get ready to do this with what you're doing, let your heart go. Let's sing unto God new songs and watch how he will come. It draws them like a magnet. And I think this is what this next move is. That's what I'm seeing at Asbury. It's just raw. They're just singing songs. Some of them, they don't even know what the songs are. They even said it. And look at what God's doing. It's the song of the Lamb where he is the focus. And I just think it's going to continue to cause this nation to be cleansed in such a beautiful way. Lastly, and I'll make it quick, one of the things the Lord said about this meeting here, there's been such a divisiveness in the earth today. I believe that you are part of the stones, like Elijah when the nation was divided. He took 10 stones because there were 10 tribes to the north, and he took 2 other stones because they were to the south. 12 is the number of the kingdom. And when the stones were set in order, the fire fell. Acts chapter 1, 11 apostles. What did they do? They cast lots, and it fell upon the 12th. All the stones were set in order, and the fire fell. And I believe if we will worship God from our heart tonight, he's going to unify this nation. Your worship, your passion is not only going to touch your house, but let it touch our White House. Let it touch our government. Let it touch our nation and break some of the strongholds that have been on it. And let it unify us, the people of God, first, so that it'll spill out upon a culture and a nation that desperately needs unity right now. I'm sorry if I took too much time, but thank you.
No, that's fine. Go ahead.